Okay, hey guys, how you doing? It's me, Max. First of all, sorry for not loading last week. I was ill. I had something wrong. I had like a pretty moderately bad cold with a chest as well. So it's mostly gone, but I'm sorry if I sound a bit nasally in this video. Second of all, we hit 800 subscribers not too long ago, and I don't think I've mentioned that in a video yet. So if I haven't mentioned that, thank you all very much for supporting it. I appreciate it. It means a ton. And thirdly, this video is a request, not a specific video topic or anything, but people have requested, a few people have asked for longer videos. And I will say though, I'm doing this during the day, so I'm sorry if there's any background noises. Essentially, that's what I'm trying to get at. So if you hear anything in the background, I'm very sorry, but just try and focus on what I'm doing here. My brother is off school for the next 6 weeks, meaning I will have virtually no time where I am in the house by myself and thus able to record. I explained this in the video as well, that a big reason when I don't record is because I don't actually have the opportunity to, but I want to record. I feel really like I feel really like in the mood to record. So today's video is going to be me talking about some of my favourite TV shows, but not just doing that, showing you the physical copies I own of them. I don't own every show that I love or like on DVD or Blu-ray, but if you haven't seen my shelf before, I'm a collector of physical media. I love the packaging and the idea and the possession of these items. I'm well aware that most of these are available online, but for the most part, I like just owning them and having them available. So we are going to get right into it with the first one. I'll take time. The first TV show that I'm going to talk about in this video is Twin Peaks. If you saw my last video, you will know that I'm a Twin Peaks fan. I owned I brought and I own the soundtrack on vinyl, which is what I showed off in the last video. And this is Twin Peaks, which was the first show I think I really watched and loved. I was still a teenager then, but like beyond being a child where I watched them on like watched like animated shows and loved them, this was the first like live action non-comedy show. It's the first drama I ever really loved, sort of thing. And if you don't know what Twin Peaks is, it's a show created by two guys. People always forget one of the other guys. It's created by the great David Lynch, filmmaker extraordinaire, and Mark Frost, who is a TV writer. Most people just credit David Lynch, and that annoys me, because Mark Frost is equally, if not even more important to the actual development of the show than David Lynch was. David Lynch aesthetically and tonally defined it, but most of the story was Mark Frost. And the show originally ran for 2 seasons. I believe the pilot premiered in 1989, but I think the first season ran 1990, and the second season ran 1990 to 1991, and it got cancelled. Call this a controversial online celebrity because it got cancelled. I apologise for that joke. So, anyway, this is a really good series, to say the least. I'm a very big fan of Twin Peaks. Obviously, it's one of my favourite TV shows of all time. And I own the original series on DVD, and I own The Return, which was the 2017 revival, Season 3, on Blu-ray, isn't it? Yeah, this is Blu-ray. And these are really cool. So the first series says, and this will be an explanation of the plot, I'm going to try and read a lot of the plot so you people know what the shows are about and such. When Laura Palmer is found brutally murdered, FBI Special Agent Dale Cooper, Cal McLaughlin, and Sheriff Harry S. Truman, Michael Ontkean, soon discover that in the town of Twin Peaks, no one is innocent, and nothing is what it seems. The less said about this show is probably the better, plot-wise, but I'll explain that if you're going to watch it, it will be very strange because it combines so many different genres. But here we are. It's standard DVD packaging. Same as the cover. This is disc 1, it contains this one. So disc 1 contains the pilot, the original version of the pilot, and the international version, which was aired as a television show. It's like a movie essentially, so it has an ending, so don't watch that one. Special features, Log Lady intros, that's a character, and she has like a little intro for the reruns where she talks about themes related to the episode essentially. Then we have disc 2, which is season 1, and disc 3, which is season 1 all the way up to episode 7, which is the first season. Then we have bonus discs, which contains some featurettes. You can have a look there. The SNL sketch and Cal McLaughlin's monologue when he was on it. It's a pretty funny sketch. Yeah, there's more stuff here as well. There's bumpers, there's all extra material. And then here's the second disc, second DVD, same thing. You have season 2, and it says this isn't season 2 episode 8, this is season 2 episode 1, but it's episode 8 overall, if that makes sense. And basically it contains all 29 episodes of the original show that weren't on the first disc, and contains some special features as well. And then inside, it's pretty much the same, it's just a black DVD case with every episode, every disc, there's a different logo on them. That's the Bang Bang Bar, the Roadhouse as it's more commonly known, logo. There's the Double R Diner, which is called Tweed's Cafe in real life. And stuff like that. There's an owl. So it's very simplistic packaging, but I'm not complaining because, it's a great show. And then here's the return. So there's Cal McLaughlin. It's really difficult to talk about some of these shows and like the later seasons without getting into spoilers. So I don't want to spoil too much, but this is Twin Peaks, a limited event series, that's what it's called. A quarter century after revolutionising television, Twin Peaks returns. Expanding the world you thought you knew, this limited event series takes you places wonderful, strange, and farther out. This Blu-ray collection includes all 18 parts of the Showtime series, plus a wealth of exclusive behind-the-scenes special features that will show you what's behind the red curtain and the making of this extraordinary television event. So here's Cal McLaughlin, and on the back we have Laura Palmer, her face. And I don't know why this is so damaged. I haven't even, I haven't had this out a bunch, but I think it just got caught while trying to pack it away and stuff, so let's just go. Oh gosh, this is like a Valkyrie type thing, so I hope this isn't an annoying noise. Oh, you won't have heard that, and it won't be too loud. And here's the third, he plays 3 characters in the season. Cal McLaughlin does this, but they're all sort of variations of the same person. This is the third one. Slide out. This is the pattern from the Red Room, as it's commonly known. As you open it up, it explains what every disc has on it, so you can have a little look at those. It's got things like promos, and for the most part, obviously, it's every single episode. Disc 7, which contains the 18th and final episode, and then a bunch of special features, so you can have a look at those. I won't read them all out because this is quite a lot of special features on this one. And then if you open it up, there's the discs. Now most of these have the same design on them, but the final one contains golden orb, which is relevant to the series. It's very difficult to explain this show if you haven't watched it. Explain the way Twin Peaks works. That was Twin Peaks, and I'm not showing these in any order, I'm just showing them in the order that I grabbed them from here. Next up we have Smallville. Oh no, there's Tom Welling's handsome face. And on the back here we have this. And if you can't tell, if you don't know what Smallville is and you can't tell by the logo, it's essentially a Superman origin story. The groundbreaking Emmy-winning 10-season hit that redefined the origins of the world's greatest hero is all here. From Krypton refugees Kal-El's arrival on Earth, through his tumultuous teen years to Clark Kent's final steps towards embracing his destiny as the Man of Steel. Relive a decade's worth of thrills and fantastic adventure full of action, heart and humour and abundance, all anchored by the marvellous performance of Tom Welling at its centre. Savour again the series' thoughtful and imaginative integration and reinvention of the iconic characters of DC Comics lore, and let your spirits be lifted up and away. So I haven't actually finished Smallville, but I'm on season 9, and I started watching it like 2 years ago, so I've watched most of the show. And this is the main box, obviously. So if I take that out, there is every single season, all 10 seasons here. For the sake of brevity, I'm probably not going to go through every single one. But here's season 1. Between the boy Clark Kent thought he was and the man he is destined to become lie the compelling stories of Smallville, the popular action series that reimagines the Superman saga from its roots. All 21 season 1 episodes are in this collector's set, powered with spellbinding special features. Watch, wonder, enjoy. A legend grows up in Smallville. So here on the back we have the main cast of season 1. We have the Martha and Jonathan Kent, who are Clark's adoptive parents. Clark Kent, we have his love interest, Lana Lang, we have Lex Luthor, we have Whitney Forden something, it's Lana's boyfriend, then we have Chloe Sullivan and Pete Ross, who are his best friends. So, and all of the DVDs on each of them basically, have the characters on them. And then inside here we have every episode listed. I believe there's 1 or 2 errors on some of these, but I don't think there's any on this season. But that's season 1. Then we have season 2. Season 2 is probably I forgot to say for Twin Peaks, by the way, my favourite season is the first season. But here we have season 2, which is probably my second favourite season of Smallville. So Superman's roots grow deeper in season 2 of Smallville. This 6-disc collection includes all 23 episodes plus bonus materials worthy of a superhero. This year finds Clark Kent grappling with his calling as he explores his true origins. Was he sent to Earth to save humanity or destroy it? Lana and Clark grow closer than ever before. Lex gets married. Lionel lures Chloe towards the dark side. Martha and Jonathan Kent receive miraculous news, and Pete becomes a keeper of Clark's secret. One thing we can't keep secret, the legend grows stronger in Smallville. So here's the main cast of season 2. It's the exact same as the first one, just with no Whitney, and instead we get Lionel Luthor, aka played by John Glover, who is phenomenal. He's the best character in the show, who's Lex Luthor's dad. And the pictures we get, it's Christopher Reeve. Clark, obviously, and then this is episode Skinwalker. I think this is the episode Witness, I think. But yes, we have Christopher Reeve. His last role ever was on this show as essentially a guide to Clark, because this show loved having actors who'd been in Superman things before. And it's really cool, but once again, here's every single episode. I think my favourite episode from season 2, well, I don't think, I know, is episode 17, Rosetta, which is the one Christopher Reeve's in. Christopher Reeve is in. Sorry, not Christopher Reeve's in. I like Red as well, though. Red a lot, which is where Clark gets a ring which has red kryptonite in it, which is before it's called kryptonite, which is the Christopher Reeve tells him. And basically it turns him sort of like into an evil, rebellious version of himself. Here's season 3 of Smallville. I'm so sorry if you can hear background noise, it's really out of my control. But here's Clark, Lana, and Lex. So I'm not going to read the back to every single one. Okay, so here's season 3. So I'm not going to read the backs for all of them, but here's Lex, Clark and Lana, Lionel and Chloe, and Clark. This might be my 3rd favourite if I had to rank them. I really like season 3. It's the darker season of the show. It's like the darker, edgy one. But yeah, there you go. They got every episode. My favourite episode of this season would probably be Perry, episode 5, which contains Michael McKean, aka Chuck from Better Call Saul, playing Perry White. Ooh, love that episode. That's really good. Here's season 4, and this one has Lois Lane in it. This is Lois Lane's first season. And here you're on the back again. Clark joins a football team, and Lana gets a boyfriend who I don't think he'll be on any of these. Let me see if he is. No. But he's played by none other than Dean Winchester himself. I don't know why I said that weird. Dean Winchester himself is Jensen Ackles, who actually originally auditioned for Clark, but he left the show to do Supernatural. He's right at the back of that photo there. But this season, it had Lois Lane, but it was a bit too campy and silly. After the darkness of season 3, they did their campiest season. And I like camp, but I don't think Smallville was the show to pull off camp. It did sometimes do it well, but I think this one's just a bit too silly. And a bit too far removed from like sci-fi. It starts doing like fantasy and witch stuff, and it just kind of clashes a bit. But it has some very good episodes. I mean, a good amount of these episodes are all really great, but my favourite would be Transference, probably, where Clark and Lionel swap bodies. I also really like the comedy episode Spirit, which is really funny. But the main thing about this season is we have Lois Lane in it now, so she adds, Erica Durante's Lois Lane adds a lot to the show, in my opinion. Okay, here we have my favourite season in Smallville, season 5. I'll read the background for this one, because it's my favourite. Clark Kent now carries a full load of classes at Central Kansas University, but that's not all he carries. He carries the full weight of perhaps the world's destiny. We call this season Superman in Training, series creator Alfred Goh says. Clark is going to accept his destiny. During this exciting pivotal season, Clark faces rogue Kryptonians. Lex Luthor launches a vicious political campaign. The Fortress of Solitude rises. Clark's love for Lana Lang deepens, and he and Lois Lane remain friendly adversaries. He also crosses paths with Aquaman, Cyborg, and the mysterious Brainiac. They have other names, but I'm reading them instead. A dark tragedy, one even Clark's powers can't prevent, strikes. These and more key elements of Superman's lore fall into place. The future Man of Steel grows another year bolder into this bonus-packed deluxe 6-disc DVD set. So this is my favourite season of Smallville. So on the back we have Clark and Lana. We have Clark in the Fortress of Solitude. I'm such a nerd. I don't care for like modern superhero movie stuff, but like I grew up loving cartoons and comic books of superheroes and some of the movies, like Christopher Reeve Superman movies. I nerded out so much. This is something I really like about later Smallville when they leave high school, is they have so many comic book characters and stuff who show up and like, sorry, that's just me being a nerd. There's John Kent looking suave as heck. There's Chloe into it. Yeah, I couldn't tell from here. There's Lois Lane as a stripper undercover, which is a very funny scene. And there's Lex. But this is my favourite season of the show. It's so good. And for the first time, Lois is on the disc. If you look, oops. We get Lois Lane on them for the first time. I believe this is the one with the printing error. There's one episode which is like printed twice or something. I actually can't... no, this looks fine. Oh, wait, no. I found it, sorry. Episode 8, 9, 10, 10, 11, That's it, yes. It prints the episode splintered twice for some reason, which is already up here. It's not, that episode isn't there. Episode 12, episode 11 is Lockdown. My favourite episode this season is Reckoning. If you watch this, it's a very sad episode. I mean, it's so good, but I love that one. But I think most of the season's great. I loved seeing the other Justice League guys show up. I really loved Mortal and Hidden as well. These are two really great episodes. But this is my favourite season. I love this one. Then, season 6. The less we talk about season 6, the better. It's a joke. I like season 6, but it's one of the weaker ones. But one thing we do have in this season is the Justice League team up. It contains one of the show's best episodes. Where is it? Justice, here we are. There are some good episodes of the season. There's a lot of... This is where they really start to repeat a lot of Monster of the Week sort of things instead of just trying to go on with it. But I will applaud this season for containing the introduction of Green Arrow. Oliver Queen becomes the main character, and my guy Jimmy Olsen, aka literally me, shows up in this one. So, and Zod, sort of do Zod in that season. So that season has a lot of cool stuff in it. Then we have season 7, which is fun. It's a solid, fun season. It's not amazing, but it's fun. I like it. And that one introduces Supergirl. Well, she's called Kara, but she's Supergirl. They never say the name Superman in the show, like referring to Clark, but that's who it is. And Bizarro. That's how I was trying to think who was the guy who comes in. It's Bizarro. Briefly shows up in this one. I'm not a massive fan of this season, but I think a lot of it was I do like season a lot, but I think a lot of the problems were hindered by the writer's strike. So they didn't have time to do as many episodes as they wanted to. They wanted to do like 22 episodes, but originally thought they had to get it down to like 16. So luckily though, they managed to get more than that. But there are some very good episodes in this series. I do like a lot of the episodes here. There's some fun episodes. Fierce is a really fun one, where Kara enters like a beauty pageant, which is really fun. Bizarro is great. But my favourite from this season, probably Descent, which is phenomenal. I can't really, I'd spoil it by telling you why. Hero is good. We get Pete come back as well. And Sleeper, which is the Jimmy Olsen James Bond show, is really fun as well. Okay, here's the last season I've watched this show. Season 8. There's Clark and Lois. Season 8 is fun. But I've already talked about this one for quite a while, and we're 23 minutes in, and I want to make this a bit longer, but I don't think it's too long, so I'll finish this up here. Season 8 is also really fun. There you are, but it's one of the weaker ones. The best episode of this season is probably Pride. I like that episode a lot. But that is Smallville. I haven't watched the last 2 seasons. I haven't finished season 9, I should say, so I'm not qualified to talk on the quality of those. But watching down there. Okay, so next up we have Millennium. That sounds so good. You probably won't have heard of Millennium. Not that I'm doubting anybody, but this is like a pretty obscure show in the grand scheme of things. But it was created by the same guy who did the X-Files. Chris Carter. It was his show he created at the same time. It aired the same time as season 4, 5, and 6 of the X-Files. And the show follows Frank Black, who's a retired FBI profiler who can like see into criminals' minds, sort of. It's left ambiguous as to whether it's like truly supernatural or not, as he works with a group called the Millennium Group, who's sort of like private investigators, but it also expands on their law and basically helps solve crimes. But the interesting thing about Millennium is all 3 seasons are distinctively different. They're all good, but they're all different. So here's the box, which is good. It has a really cool backing as well, right? That gives you information on every season and such. But if we take it out, there's... Look, there's Frank Black, Lance Henriksen, great actor. And there's the man. Very moody, stylized show. It's very good. So here's Millennium Season 1. Let me read the back. Retired serial profiler Frank Black has moved his family to Seattle to escape the violence and horror he dealt with while working for the FBI in Washington, D.C. Although his uncanny and often unsettling ability to see into the twisted minds of serial killers has caused him much inner torment, Black knows his gift can still be used to help protect and save others. For that reason, he has joined the mysterious Millennium Group, a team of underground ex-law enforcement experts dedicated to fighting against the ever-growing forces of evil and darkness in the world. And that's Season 1. Season 1 is the only one Chris Carter really oversaw, so it has a much more grounded thing. Basically, he's tracking serial killers and such. And though there are references to like the apocalypse and such, and some hints at like supernatural things, for the most part, this first season is very grounded in like gritty, dark crime related stuff. So here you have every disc. So really cool stuff. The designs on them are really cool. But that's Season 1 of Millennium. This is Season 2. This is my favourite one, where Glenn Morgan and James Wong took over and they made it more about like the apocalypse and supernatural forces, but it's all still very sort of ambiguous. It's not as like X-Files-y. And there's also a bunch of stuff to do with a virus. So this season is really, really good. I love this season. It's one of my favourite seasons of television ever. So there's that. Here's all the DVDs. My favourite episode this season would be the finale, two-part finale, which is one of the scariest things I've ever watched in television history. But the Mikado, which is about the serial killer who live streams his murders, essentially. This is from the late 90s, by the way. Is also under Jose Chung's Doomsday Defense. If you've seen the X-Files, you'll know who Jose Chung is. And that's really cool. And then the third season of Millennium is basically this one. Once again, has a different. It feels more conspiracy related, and it's not the same as the first one, but it's a bit similar. But this is a really good season sometimes, and other episodes aren't very good. It has a lot of weak episodes, but it has a lot of good episodes as well. So here you go. My favourite episode this season is probably 13 Years Later or Collateral Damage. Both of those are great. 13 Years Later is about a movie being made out of a crime Lance Henriksen, Frank Black worked on. And Collateral Damage is about a guy who's played by Spike from Buffy who believes that he was like experimented on during the Gulf War. It's a very good one. But it's a very underrated season Millennium show. Millennium people don't really talk about it that often. But I think it's a bit of a shame because I think this is a really great one. So there you go. That was Millennium. Oops, I forgot to put it back in its box. There we are. Next up, I want to save the best one for last. Oops. Next up we have Buffy the Vampire Slayer with its price tag still intact. Oh gosh. See, I bought these secondhand from CX. If you're British, you know what CX is. I probably shouldn't be getting this off now, but I've never taken it off because I don't want them to scar the, like ruin the thing, so I'll do that another time, but that's why. I don't think I should have to explain what Buffy is, but it's about a girl who discovers she has to fight evil, essentially. Very, very, very important, influential, and great show from the late 90s. So here's the cover. Like a main cast of characters. You've got Buffy, Angel, Giles, Willow, Dawn. I think that's Dawn. Yeah, I couldn't really see through there. Xander and Spike. And then on the back, you've got more characters. You've got Anya. What was he called? Riley, that's what he was called. Sorry, he's just like so bland, I forget. Faith, Tara, Oz, Cordelia, and Glory. Why Glory on the back? Glory on the back. That's weird. Anyway. Great packaging. And 2 mini boxes inside, which contain every episode of the show. So this is, I believe, season 1 through 4. Yeah, this is season 1 through 4. And on the back, picture of Buffy with a rocket launcher, which is the coolest thing ever, and I can't explain because it ruins a great reveal. But this is 21 discs. So I'm not going to read everything because there is a lot of stuff on the back here. So if you wanted to read, you can pause and read. And also I'm trying to be very quiet here so I don't end up knocking because there's so many discs. But you got disc 1, disc 2, and all these. Season 2 is my favourite season, so if you look at, that's a really cool design. My favourite episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer is Innocence from season 2, which is a great episode. Season 3 and season 4. There we go. Very well designed. I do like the design of these quite a lot. Oh gosh, sorry. And then here's season 5, 6, and 7. So it's basically the same thing on the front, just orange. And then on the back we have... Go. So my favourite episode from these seasons, let's do. Starting off with season 5, is probably The Body from season 5. Or Once More with Feeling from season 6, which is the musical episode. Season 5 is really good. That and season 2 are my favourites. But season 6 is really great as well. And then season 7's kind of a bit disappointing in comparison, but it's a good final season. Oopsie. My bad. And it includes the US air dates for every single episode, so that's awesome. But I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer, it's one of my favourite shows. But that is a very clumsy one to talk about each of them individually. I think I spent so long on the Smallville one that I'm trying to not spend too much longer on the other ones, but they are really cool. So, I think I put those the wrong way round. I'll have to put them back properly. Hang on a second, bear with me. This video is going to have a bunch of editing in it, I'm sure of it. And I can't talk about Buffy without talking about Angel, which is a victim of the sticker thing there. My word. Oh well, at least I still have them physical. But Angel was the spin-off about the vampire Angel who goes to Los Angeles to fight demon, essentially. Fight evil. It says, Angel, a 240-year-old vampire cursed with a conscience, haunts the dark streets of Los Angeles alone, but after he meets a half-demon with mysterious visions, Angel realises his true purpose, to help those in danger with the hope that he may have had a chance to redeem himself and save his own soul. With Cordelia and Doyle at his side, he forms Angel Investigations, and is soon joined by Wesley, Gunn, Lorne, and Fred. He will need all the expertise to fight the growing forces of evil and the supernatural law firm of Wolfram and Hart. It's a cool show, Angel is. It's very sort of like neo-noir-y dark. It's darker than Buffy, but it's very good. So here's the first season. There's Angel and Cordelia. And on the back here, once again, lots of information. It gives you a rundown of every season. And look at these really cool DVDs. I keep going to call them CDs. Season 1's fun. It's a good introduction to the show, but it has quite a lot of not very great episodes, but it's a good introduction to the show. I really like the beginning and end of it. My favourite episode would probably be the very first one. The pilot is really good, but I also really love the episode I've Got You Under My Skin, which is about an exorcism, which is really fun. Then we have season 2, which is Angel and Wesley. This one sees the return of Darla and Drusilla from Buffy, and Angel sort of isolates himself from his friends. This one is a much better season, in my opinion. It's really good. I think this is one of my second favourite. The only problem with Angel is that most of its seasons are like half great, but then they have a few very sort of hit or miss plot lines or such. But, you know, these are really cool designs. And if anyone wondering, that is David Boreanaz before he was on Bones. So that is Sealy Booth. Season 3 is also really cool. This is another good season. I should probably say my favourite episode from season 2 is probably Epiphany. That's one of my favourite episodes of the show. Season 3 is pretty good. It has like a bunch of plot lines. It has like 3 distinct parts to it in a way. But I like season 3. Favourite episode from season 3? I don't know. I actually don't know what my favourite episode from season 3 would be, because it doesn't have a list in here, I don't think, of the episodes. So I can't really remember, but I like... What's that one called? There's an episode quite early on that's really good, and I can't think for the life what it's called. Oh, goodness gracious me. It's one where there's a demon Angel's rescue from Hal. He has to fight, which is really cool. Who, like, encourages violence and such. It's a really good episode. Billy, I think it's called. I like that one a lot. But I'm probably forgetting. I probably have got like one I really love from that season and I'm completely forgetting about. I'm so sorry. Then here's Angel season 4, which is very controversial. It's sort of like a more serialized one than episodic. But I hated it at first. But I then rewatched some of it and I'm going to appreciate some of it, but I haven't rewatched it all. But here's the DVDs for those. My favourite episode from season 4 is, I think it's called Cavalry, I think. It's that will Spin the Bottle. Spin the Bottle's really funny, where they all regress back to their high school selves. And then here's the best season of the show, season 5. It contains the episode where Angel becomes a puppet, so... My favourite episode from here is the finale, Not Fade Away, which is so good. And it's like, this is the show's best season, and just when it's starting to really come into its own, it's got cancelled, so... But hey, what can you do? It's still a very enjoyable season, but there's people who really love it, who I don't really get why people really love it so much. But I do think it's a good show. It's overall it's a show I like. But I mean, like, I'm not going to knock it. If it is someone's favourite show, that's really cool, but it's never clicked for me in that way. But I do like it quite a lot, so that's Angel. We're at the 40-minute mark, and we've got one left down here, but you probably noticed the other one that I completely forgot to get down before the start of the video, so I'll get that out after. But this is my favourite show of all time. This is The Sopranos. I probably don't have to explain once again what The Sopranos is. It's an ensemble dramedy, I'd say, because there's a lot of comedy and a lot more drama, but there's a lot of comedy about a mobster and his mob life and his family life. But it really doesn't do the show justice to describe it just as that. It's awesome. Here's Tony, who is the greatest fictional character of all time. Sorry, I don't make the rules. And no one has ever given a better performance anything than Jim Gandolfini in this show. So yeah, you got the back. You've got Tony Soprano, Christopher Moltisanti, Bobby Bacala, Silvio Dante, and Paulie. All nuts. Though that isn't his name ever given in the show, but long story. This contains all 6 seasons of the show. It's gonna don't be too loud while opening it. Unfortunately, the discs for this one aren't too interesting. It's pretty much just this for every single one, but when the show is that good, it doesn't need flashy packaging. It's simple and it gets the job done, which I think fits the show quite well. But I love The Sopranos so much. My favourite episode is Mayhem, Season 6, Episode 3, which is hilarious, sad, beautiful, and it's just so good. And the show has so many things. You could say it's the greatest show of all time. A lot of people on the internet, for some reason, really like to say Breaking Bad. I'm sorry, Breaking Bad doesn't hold a candle to The Sopranos. I'm sorry, I love Breaking Bad. Nowhere near as good as The Sopranos. The Sopranos does, like, literally, Sopranos has so many plot lines and themes that Breaking Bad did way better and before. Better Call Saul. And once again, Sopranos is a million times better than Better Call Saul, but I think that is actually a better contender for the best show of all time tag. I think Better Call Saul is better than Breaking Bad. They're both great, but I feel like Breaking Bad's very tonally inconsistent, and it can't decide whether it's a serious, and its fans can't decide either whether it's meant to be taken like as a serious crime drama or a goofy, over-the-top pulpy noir. And you know, it's a very mismatched show. Sopranos is much more consistent going forward, I think. And it has the greatest ending to anything ever. People used to hate the ending, but now luckily they all agree it's an amazing ending. And you've got Carmela, who's Sylvia, sorry, just reflected. Carmela, who's Tony's wife. You've got AJ, who's his son. You've got Uncle Junior, Corrado, who's his uncle. You've got his therapist, Melfi, Jennifer Melfi. And there's Meadow, who's his daughter. I love The Sopranos. Watch The Sopranos. If you've never watched The Sopranos, you've got to watch it. It's so good. It's not super slow, but it has like a slow build in it, which is why a lot of people don't like it. I've seen so many people especially try and say that once again Breaking Bad is better. It's just because they don't have the attention span for The Sopranos, which isn't even super fast paced. But if you want instant gratification and you want everything spelled out for you, you won't like this show. It's clever. It's one of the smartest things it's ever had on network television. But huge fan of The Sopranos. It's so good. I could probably do another video talking about The Sopranos. So that's all the main ones I have, but I want to show you a few more, so I'll be right back. Okay, so the show I wanted to show you is my other show I own, DVD. It is Supernatural. Okay, I love Supernatural. I'm actually a Supernatural fanboy. I'm going to show you the first 5 seasons because they're the best, and because I don't want to get this video going for so long, it takes forever to upload to YouTube. But if you don't know what Supernatural is, it's about 2 brothers who fight demons, essentially. It starts out like that, as like a Southern Gothic show, and it becomes much bigger and much grander in scale. But it's so good. And this is one of the ones that I think is important to keep on physical, because all of the music in season 1, besides like one song, is changed on streaming services. So if you want to watch the original, you have to go for you have to like get it on DVD if you want to watch it legally. I just love the Supernatural packaging as well. Like, here we are. There's the 2 parts there. Backgrounds. I won't read all of them, but it's so good. The entire show is. Essentially, the show is, it's like a sort of, it's a Southern Gothic show. It's a road trip show, especially in season 1. Look how cool they are. I love them so much. And then there's even, here's every single episode inside. So, oops, actually, hang on, sorry. I'm going to show you this. I might as well show you them in order. But here we are. So you've got Pilot, Wendigo, Dead in the Water, Phantom Traveller. There's a little explanation as to what each of them are. Skin, which is my favourite episode from season 1, it's about Shapeshifter. Oh, sorry, Bloody Mary, Skin, Hookman, Bugs. Home, Asylum, Scarecrow. So that's from Skin, I'm pretty sure. No, not the one of Sam, the one of Dean. So that's awesome. And it's the same thing for the other ones. It's a really great show, Supernatural is. Again, this is another one of those I could probably do a video talking about because there's so much about Supernatural. Then here we have probably my second favourite season. Season 2. There we go. You can read the back there if you want. And the packaging and design for these is just so good. And then it's the same thing, 2 pictures of them with all of the episodes inside. I won't bother to go through every single one, of course, because I don't need to. There we go. Yeah, this one contains them on both sides. I couldn't name a favourite from season 2, probably. But if I had to, I'm going to say the episode Tall Tales, which was really funny. Or the finale, or Hell Breaks Loose. Or the first episode of My Time Dying. And also, Supernatural is full of classic rock references and classic rock music. So if you're into that sort of thing, you'll really like that. And, you know, I do like where Supernatural goes, but I do in some ways really just love how simplistic these earlier ones are and how, like, more horror. The show, like, stops being a horror series eventually anyway, so. Here's season 3, which is another really, really great season. It's the shortest one. Ooh, here I have a cast, because this is the first season with a bunch of actors in it, so you've got a cast this time. Ooh, there you go. My favourite episode this season is once again quite simple. It's Mystery Spot from episode 11. There you are. So can we do what that one's about? So that's season 3. Then we have season 4. Which is really cool. Season 4 just takes it to like a whole new level. And this is my other second favourite. So there you've got the description there. And this is the first one with Castiel in it. Whoever else. My favourite episode this season. Oh, I don't know. Yellow Fever. I'm saying that one. That's the best episode this season. It's very funny. But the whole thing is really great. I love this season. So that's season 4. And then the final one, which before I end the video, will be Supernatural season 5, which is my favourite Supernatural season. It's so good. It builds up the fight, basically everything. It's the apocalypse and hell itself. Everything just builds up this season. My favourite episode of this season will probably be the finale, or Changing Channels, where they're trapped inside a bunch of TV shows, or the end, where Dean goes to the future. It's just a phenomenal season of television. But I think I'm going to leave it there because this has been a long video and I've got to edit it. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to like and comment and such, because, you know, it really helps me and encourages me to make more content. But hopefully I'll see you in the next one. You know what it is. Stay beautiful. Oops. Stay beautiful.